then such research would include the effects of teaching on teachers as learners as well. And we see that in some sense as a clue to how to make sense of this sort of tension between what teaching is in relation to learning as participation. So seeing teaching as a practice to promote the learning of mathematics. We can see teaching as practice in established settings with learning of teaching through participation. So in just the way that we see learning as participation in any area of, area of learning, we can see learning teaching through participation in teaching. Taking one of Wenger's terms, alignment, we might see alignment over time leading to the creation of something that Brown and McIntyre have called normal desirable states between teachers and students. In their early 90s study, Making Sense of Teaching, they talk about practice in the classrooms they observed, settling down to what they call normal desirable states in which teachers and pupils can work comfortably and possibly productively together. But we know also that the learning of mathematics is not always what either the mathematics community or society more broadly would hope for. I'm sure we can look around us and see many examples of that in our own practice as well as in headlines. So maybe that suggests that in some cases alignment with established practices can lead to perpetuation of undesirable states. So this is just by way of a backdrop to seeing teaching as practice to promote the learning of mathematics. But how does it relate to what we're doing in these projects? Well, coming back to the notion of inquiry and inquiry communities, we want to characterize inquiry as something borrowing from Wenger that we call critical alignment. So alignment with practices, whatever it is that we're practicing, is a part of participation. We can't participate without some alignment. This is why these notions of Wenger are so attractive. According to Wenger, we have engagement, imagination, and alignment as part of belonging to a community of practice. So what does it mean then to have an inquiry community based within a theory of community of practice? And I'm saying here we conceptualize the inquiry community as one in which belonging implies critical alignment. That is, alignment in which practices are not taken for granted, but questioned as part of an inquiry-based approach to practice. And we are contrasting very much the established and the emergent. So thinking about engaging in established practice, in schools, wherever, in universities, in alignment with normal desirable states, possibly in recognition of undesirable outcomes, and contrasting that with questioning current practice while engaging in practice. What is possible and how? What do we want to try to achieve and what does it look like in practice? And what is emergent? This is all part of our study of the developmental process in which we're engaging. And we think about inquiry as a way of being in practice. Inquiry is not the practice. The practice is whatever the practice is. Engagement in mathematics classrooms, engagement in mathematics teaching. But it's seeing learning in mathematics in classrooms as participation in the social practice of the classroom, seeing teaching mathematics as participation in the social practice of creating opportunity for mathematics learning. So it's not conceptualizing the learning of teaching in the same way as the learning of mathematics, because actually those who are learning mathematics are engaging within a different community, potentially from those who are teaching mathematics. But within these two notions of seeing learning and seeing teaching, we use inquiry as a tool to promote inquiry as a way of being in practice. So one of the things that we're looking at within these projects is what does it mean to see inquiry as a way of being in practice. The two projects are designed to explore teaching that creates environments through which learners of mathematics can engage with mathematics in ways that promote principled mathematical learning. Principled includes fluency, it includes conceptualization, it includes using and applying. It's just a word that tries to capture all of those things. And we're interested in ways of being in mathematics through inquiry, creating learning of mathematics, and there's a feedback loop here, so that the learning feeds back into the ways of being, and the inquiry process is central to the loop. What does this look like in terms of the project? How much longer? I can't say a lot about this. There are papers that I can point you to if you're interested. The project is a collaboration between teachers and didacticians. Over the 3.5 years of the project so far, we've had 3 phases of working, didacticians and teachers working together, in which we've had workshops at the university, and we've had 6 workshops per year in each phase. And typically, didacticians design the workshops with input from teachers. We also have school team design a classroom activity, which takes place in schools with some didactician support. We have classroom innovation resulting from the design of classroom activity, which is